Hey everybody, I hope your Friday is going well. It's probably around the end of the workday here for you, and I wanted to just come on here real quick. I say real quick, might take a few minutes, but start sending you all some of the concept videos that I'm going to be creating. So every day we're going to go over a different concept. It could be gratitude, it could be creating space between a stimulus and a response. It could be about all different things like control or desire or being present. We just take a concept and we're going to pick it apart a little bit and discuss some different ways of looking at these concepts, healthy ways, not so healthy ways. We're going to hear some words of wisdom from all kinds of different professionals. I'm just the messenger, and I can speak a little bit from experience on what has helped me lately. So today I wanted to take a look at the word repair. So this is in context of relationships. I think we've all probably had instances, occurrences where we caused or were contributors to damage in a relationship that was important to us. And I think the biggest problem is that we don't know how to repair those spots of damage or these things that happen. We're afraid of repairing, or we're afraid that the attempt to repair won't be reciprocated. There's a lot of humility involved when we go back to these places that don't feel so good, and we have to ask for forgiveness or let the other person know that they're not alone. So a large part of our ego is telling us not to repair, but inside we all know that we'll be happier and we'll have more connected and deeper relationships if we're able to do this. So I wanted to just share with you some wisdom that I heard from someone named Dr. Becky Kennedy, and I'm going to use my notes a little bit because I want to make sure that I give her information correctly. So she's featured on a lot of different podcasts. I think she has her own podcast too. But I came across one of her TED Talks as well, which I'll put in the comments. She is a family therapist, author, mother, wife. Her book, called Good Inside, talks about being able to separate good people from bad behaviors and choices. And it's more for parents, but you can really apply the knowledge and the wisdom to any relationship in your life. So at one point towards the end of her TED Talk, she's talking about the fact that she says it's never too late to go back and repair something. And she paints a picture of a grown adult who is either getting a phone call or if their parent's already deceased, like they could be reading a letter that they found from their parents. But it's basically very emotional and moving, but she paints this whole picture of like someone that suffered for their whole life with this damage that was caused, and then later in life coming across this apology from the person who hurt them. And the audience is very moved during the talk, and I think she gets a standing ovation, but it's really cool. She makes some really good points. And one of her quotes in this talk, she says, "Repair is really the act of going back to a moment that didn't feel good, taking responsibility, reconnecting, and making a plan for going forward." So I'm just going to read my notes here. This allows us to change the end of our story, and we can do this ourselves with our own past and how we perceive situations. And I've been doing a lot of this lately, kind of going back and repairing my own past, forgiving people that weren't necessarily sorry, but it's giving me a lot of my power and happiness back. And I can actually change how I look at the event if I can go back and imagine that I'm kind of creating my own repair in these situations just by changing my perception, or maybe having compassion for the person that had done the damage, maybe trying to think of what they were going through at that time as well. So she says it's never too late and we can break the generational cycles. One really cool thing that I heard her say about trauma is that trauma isn't typically caused by the event itself. It's caused by us feeling alone in the event. So a lot of repair has to do with us revisiting the terrible thing that happened or was said, and just letting that person know, like, hey, that must have felt really awful when I said that or when I did that, and I'm sorry, and I'm gonna try to change going forward. So anyways, I do recommend watching the video. If you want to skip like halfway through 10-11 minute mark, there's some really powerful stuff towards the end. So here's the fun part. I've given you some good information on repairing. Now, how do you apply this to your day-to-day life? So with this perception challenge that I'm creating, part of what I like to do is give you challenges to put these concepts into practice throughout your day. So some of them are more internally focused, where you can just kind of journal or quietly think to yourself about how this concept applies to you. But the whole point is to put this into practice. So have some challenges for introverts, some for extroverts. Everywhere in between, you can do one challenge, you can do 6 challenges. At the end of the day, I want for all of us, including myself, to be in the habit of writing down 3 things that we're grateful for every day. It can be something simple like your bed, your air conditioner, your dog. It could be anything really. So let's start in with the challenges. The first challenge, where you can put these practices or these concepts into practice, is extending a repair. So write a letter to someone you believe may have caused damage, or that you may have caused damage with. You can give them the letter, or you can keep it for yourself. If you're not ready to give it to them, you can write the letter, hang on to it, think about whether or not you want to give it to them. Maybe writing the letter helps you to have a conversation with them that might lead to some repair. So that's your first option. Number 2 is to mend a relationship. So go to a friend or family member and try to repair something. You can start small. And how did it go? An example of this, starting small, might be me going to my 9-year-old son and saying, hey Chase, when you asked me to charge the computer the other day, the laptop, and I was busy, I brushed you off, and I'm sorry about that, because I know you wanted to pull up a YouTube video and figure out how to draw this Pokemon character. So I'm sorry that I brushed you off. That must have been frustrating. And next time you want to do something like that, I want to encourage your drawing gift and interest. So remind me to take a deep breath and charge your computer. Or you can offer to help me with something so that I have time to charge the computer for you. So that's just an example. Simple, you can start small. This next one might be a little bit tough for some people. If this is traumatizing for you, don't do it. But this has to do with amending your own past. So think of a time from your past that still hurts, and you can journal about it. Can you change the ending by adjusting your perception of the event? I've been doing a lot of this lately, and it is emotional. It has been very healing for me. This is a very personal, introverted, like internal journey that you can go on if you want to attempt this one. But again, just be careful if you're going to be causing any extra trauma for yourself. The point is to heal some of the trauma. So in this next one is a present day, like a being in the moment kind of a challenge. So throughout your day, look for an opportunity as you listen to others. Is anyone giving indication that they're in need of a repair? And if you want to, you can share your wisdom with them. So a lot of times we hear friends and family complaining about different things. Sometimes this is something hurtful that someone did to them. You can share your wisdom about what you've learned about repairing. Sometimes these things are not in our control, so it's a matter of possibly changing our perception or having forgiveness for people that may not be sorry. And that's a tough thing to do, but it is possible. So another challenge you could do is a research challenge, and that is to find an article or write-up or lecture on the topic and check that out. If you want to send it to me, I'd love that. Leave it in the comments. And so the last challenge option I'm going to give to you for this repair is to create an acronym using the letters in the word repair. So list the benefits you receive from repairing damage in a relationship. This could be REPAIR. So R could be you're more relaxed, so relaxed due to having that repair. E could be empathy. You have more empathy for the person that you were going through that damage and the repair with. P could be peace, and so on and so forth. So those are your 6 challenges if you wanted to put repair into practice. When we put in the reps on applying these concepts in our day-to-day lives, that's when we start to notice the change. So again, the last thing is just write down 3 things that you're grateful for today and let me know how you do. Thank you. Bye.